Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Jeff Winkle, and I will be your instructor for the next 7 weeks for our foray into exploring world religions, which is one of my favorite classes to teach. This is such a wonderful, wide-ranging, interesting, can be strange, weird, intriguing subject that I hope you'll share my passion or at least find it contagious along the way as we go through this. So in this short video, what I wanted to do is just give a kind of a brief overview of the class itself, talk a little bit about how I'm going to run the class and what's expected of you. We'll take a brief walk through the syllabus, just so you have kind of a solid platform to jump off from as you dive into the first week's work, which is this week. So first, just a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Dr. Jeff Winkle. I am a professor of humanities here at GRCC, and I have been here for about 6-7 years now, and I love it. My own background is in ancient Greek and Roman studies, an area of academics we call classics. My PhD is in classics. I got my PhD from Northwestern University, just north of Chicago, more years ago than I'd like to admit. My subspecialty in that discipline was actually mythology and ancient religion. And so we'll actually be doing a little bit of kind of Greek myth and Greek religion to start with. I think it's a kind of a fun way to do a class like this. So while this class is mainly about 95% is about living religions that are active and that are followed by people today and are centers of worship for people around the world today. We'll look at kind of core religious ideas by looking at kind of ancient religions and talk about why did they not survive, and what do they have in common with how people think about divinity and theology today, and can we draw a line from, say, the Greeks worshiping Zeus and Athena to people worshiping different forms of God around the world today. So I hope you find that kind of really interesting, and I'll connect the dots the best I can as we go along. So just some kind of details about the course. This is what we call an asynchronous online course, which means we will not be having scheduled meetings, via Zoom or Google Meets or anything like that. What you'll find as you kind of get into the Blackboard site is that each week we'll have a folder worth of work that I'm asking you to do and complete by the end of that week. And at the end of a week's work, at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, the folder for the next week will open up. And so it's really on you to complete the work and to find the time and to do this well along the way. I'm not going to be doing a lot of kind of breaking in and badgering you and reminding you of things to get done along the way. It really is the onus of getting this getting through the course, but also getting a lot out of this course is on you. And so there's a number of challenges, I think, and advantages to that. So this is a 7-week course, which is a half semester's time. I teach versions of this course, in person over 14 weeks here at GRCC. And so in the 7-week course, I don't really cut out a whole lot, to make it fit for a smaller time. It's more or less the same course, which means there's a ton of material. And so that is a challenge in and of itself. But I will say that, if you are organized and if you are motivated, if you're a self-starter, if you're interested in the subject matter, this kind of approach to the course, an asynchronous course where it's kind of up to you to do what you need to do, it can be a great thing. But it can also be very challenging if any of those aspects kind of lag. And a class like this would be very easy to get behind in. And I'm here to help, right? So if there's anything that needs clarification, or if you need help with something, if something's not working, of course, shoot me an email and we'll take care of it as quickly as you can. But starting this week, week 1, I'm asking you to jump in and get started on the material there. So I would also say that, you'll find in each week kind of a suggested breakdown, what I'm suggesting that you might accomplish each day of the week. Now, I know many of you, most of you, maybe all of you are working right now. And so, you have to, you do this stuff, when you can. I get it. But I would also encourage you, if you're able to, just do a little bit in bits and pieces as you go through the week. I think that's how you get the most out of it. That's how I think you'll retain the information better. It often reminds me of, when I like binge watch shows, you kind of go, oh, I just want to watch the next one. And you stay up way too late watching, episode after episode. And that can be very addicting. But I also find that, when I think back about, shows that I've really liked, I find that if I binged them, I don't remember them that well. Or if I watch, parts a second time, I don't even remember seeing that just because I inhaled it rather than kind of taking it, one piece at a time. And I think that same principle applies here. So the more that you can spread it out, I think the more that you're going to get out of this course. And so I encourage you to do that. I've ordered 2 course texts for you to purchase. They're really quite good. This one is called Living Religions by Mary Pat Fisher, and the second one is an anthology. It's a book that's connected to this one. It's an anthology of kind of specific readings from sacred books and authors having to do with whatever religion we're covering in whatever chapter we are in the main book. So this is our main text here. And if you can swing it, get the latest edition. But I'm always encouraging students to find, if you can find a used copy or an earlier edition of either text here, go for it. I think that one of the great crimes of academia today is the outrageousness of textbook prices. I don't get it. So I'm very in favor of students saving money when they can. So if you can find a used edition or an earlier edition of either of these, the differences between the editions aren't all that significant, in my opinion. But of course, the newer and latest edition that you're going to get is going to be the most expensive one. If you can swing it, go for it. That's great. But save money where you can. All right, let's take a look at. I want to take a look at the syllabus here. So you'll find this in the left-hand link on the Blackboard site. You'll find a link that's simply marked syllabus, and you'll find this document here. There you can see my information at the top. Again, my name is Dr. Jeff Winkle. My email address is the best way to get a hold of me. I'm not going to have regular office hours on campus, but if you would like to meet, please, I would love to do so. One of the things I don't like about teaching online or an asynchronous course is that I don't get to meet the vast majority of you, and that's one of the joys of my job is actually getting to know you and in person and discussing these things. So if you want to meet, talk about a paper or an assignment or the final exam, just let me know, and we can arrange a time for you to swing by my office if that appeals to you. Course description and objectives. I'm not going to go over this. I have in one of the intro short lectures, I go over in detail each of the religions that we're going to be looking at here. But we're going to start with kind of ancient Greek religion, and then we'll talk about indigenous cultures. We'll talk about Eastern religions, Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, Taoism, Confucianism, Shintoism, Zoroastrianism, and then we talk about the big three, as they're sometimes called, the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and then we end with a look at Sikhism, which is an Eastern religion that has monotheistic aspects to it. But more on you can see more of that in the Week 1 folder. Yeah, here's the details about the course texts. Those texts are available in the GRCC bookstore if you want to purchase them. There, you're primarily going to find the latest and newest editions of them, but you can also find these texts very, very easily on places like Amazon. Let me know if you're having trouble finding them, and I will help you as I can. If there are other readings I'm asking you to do, and there will be a few, they will be posted to Blackboard as PDFs or Word documents. Attendance policy. The way that, this is an asynchronous course, I'm not going to be asking you to check in at any particular time. So the way that I, grade attendance is based on how timely your participation is in submitting a quiz or a forum answer or an assignment. If you're doing that regularly, if you're kind of keeping up with the weekly assignments, that will just go towards your ultimate attendance points. So in terms of kind of grading breakdown, the course itself is worth 1,000 possible points, 200 for your attendance. I'll be asking you to watch a number of I call them films here, but there's a few episodes of relevant documentaries. I'll be asking you to watch one kind of full-length feature film. And for each of those, I'm asking you to kind of respond to questions on the Blackboard site. You'll see those forums in the weekly folders. Reading quiz is worth about around 200 points. The way this works is that for nearly every reading I'm asking you to do, you'll take a short timed reading quiz. They're usually roughly around 10 questions, and I'll give you 15 to 20 minutes to complete them. A few things about these. They're multiple choice. I'm not out to trick you. I'm not going to kind of pull things from obscure footnotes and to kind of see how deeply you read the textbook or the assignment. But they are there to keep you honest. And I time them to prevent you, students from just simply kind of, doing manic book flipping, looking for answers, rather than sitting down and actually, doing the readings well. So it's just a small nudge to keep you honest. And again, the more you're going to get so much more out of this course if you do the readings well. In lectures, I can't cover it all. And as I often tell my students too, it's not really my job to kind of give you an education. My job is to facilitate it and to extend it beyond, say, readings and other things I'm asking you to do. It really is on you. Your education is your responsibility. And so there's so much, the textbooks are really quite rich. And the more carefully that you read them, the more you're going to get out of this course. And hopefully you find my lectures not just simply just regurgitating material from the reading, but actually what I try to do is extend them and add things to that so they kind of work together rather than just repeat each other. You'll note there's not a midterm in this class. We will have a comprehensive kind of final exam, which will be essay-based. I'll say more about that as that gets closer. And then also one kind of formal course paper, which I'll ask you to write, and you'll find some freedom there to kind of choose hopefully a topic that you find interesting. I believe that I introduced that in week 3, so I don't want to say much about it now, but you'll find a very detailed prompt and explanation of that assignment as we go along. My grade on a fairly straight scale, so your 900 points to 1,000 points, that's your A range. I think my grading scale is 95% and up as a straight A, which might be a little bit more demanding than in other courses you may have taken. I've heard from other students that say that, well, most classes it's a 93 to 100. That's a straight A. My scale is a little bit more stringent. I don't think you'll find that I'm a particular kind of harsh grader. I think you'll find me very fair, but I do think that a straight A should reflect work that is above and beyond, a cut above. But again, let me know if you have questions. Yeah, here's the details on the reading quizzes. So like I said, they're timed. You can take them twice, but just know that the software will average your 2 attempts. I believe the way I have it set up is you take a quiz, and when you finish it, it'll tell you which ones you've got wrong. It won't tell you the right answer, but it'll flag the ones you got wrong. And then you can use that information if you want to take it a second time to bump up your score. Obviously, if you take it once and you ace it, there's no need to take it a second time, and that grade will go right to your grade book in Blackboard. Final exam, yes, it'll probably, this is not set in stone, but it'll probably feature a choice of essays, 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4. And this, of course, will be take home. We won't be meeting in person for a final exam, but they'll be, you'll type out your answers and upload them and such. More information as that gets closer. The paper, yes, look for, I think it's week 3, the details of that. I think if you actually want to get a jump on it, I think I have a link on the left-hand side for the paper prompt if you want to look at that on your own before I introduce that. And then, here's my grading scale. And there's the course schedule. Again, we'll start with kind of basic questions. What do we even mean by religion? Some ancient Greek myths, some interpretation of mythology and religion. Then we'll look at like indigenous cultures, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism. I'll be asking you to watch one film here. The Life of Pi, which is, in my opinion, a wonderful film based on a popular and wonderful book, which has lots of religious imagery and themes packed into it. And then the last half, we'll be looking at the so-called monotheistic religions. Not so-called, they are monotheistic religions. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and then ending with Sikhism. And then the final exam and the papers will be due in that last week. So open it up, have a look at it. If you have questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to talk with you and get to know you as best I can in this asynchronous course. All right, I'll see you in there.